Pest control is always an issue if you have horses. You know, there's flies, there's mosquitoes, there's gnats, there's ticks, there's just all kinds of pests when it comes to horses. You know, you've even got rats in the barn. There's obviously no rats in this barn, as clean as this barn is, that's for sure. But you know, it is an issue. Anytime you have feed and grain, and you're going to be mice and so on and so forth. And you know, the key there is the obvious things there, just keep things clean around the barn. But I really want to spend most of my time today talking about pest control on the horse. And this is an area that I think definitely needs a lot of attention, because we use an awful lot of chemicals on our horses today. And in some cases, you know, we need those chemicals, especially, you know, if you're going into a halter class and your horse can't move an inch, so to speak. It's important that you keep those flies off of them. It's important when you're trail riding to keep the flies off your horse, because you don't want your horse to kick another horse while it's kicking at a horsefly. If you're just enjoying the horses as a pasture pet, you need to be careful with flies and mosquitoes and ticks, because they are, without a doubt, a major problem as far as disease today. You know, many of your allergy horses have fly-related allergies. Many of your very serious diseases, like Lyme's disease, can be carried by ticks. There's other diseases that you haven't heard quite as much about, but one of them is called Ehrlichia, and that's related to blood-borne insects. All these are real serious problems. And then, of course, there's West Nile, probably the most known about of all of them today. And of course, that's spread by mosquitoes. So the more that we can do to keep these flies and pests off of our horses, the healthier horses are going to be and the happier we're going to be, because nobody wants flies around the horse's face. It's just ugly. But there's a couple ways to do that. I mentioned sprays. There's some good sprays. There's some that are better than others. There's spot-on things that you put on their back. Personally, as the natural vet, I'm not too fond of those. They're a very high concentration of chemical, a permethrin chemical, and permethrins are okay, but they're very concentrated in those spot-ons. And the thing about that is when you're petting your horse, where do you pet them? Right where you put the spot-ons. And I don't think anyone needs any more exposure to chemicals than they need to. By the way, since we're in this beautiful barn, there's another way to help control pests in the barn, and that's with misters in the barn. But if you have a horse that has an allergy problem, you want to be careful with that, especially a lung allergy or COPD or heave, so to speak. Because these misters, if you think about it, not only are they taking care of the flies, because it is a chemical, but it's also something that you're breathing and something that your horse is breathing. And that's something I think we often overlook. Fortunately, most of those chemicals are pretty safe, like pyrethrins. They're about the safest you can get. And it's important that we use them if we need them, if we have a situation like that. But one way that I've been especially excited about keeping flies and ticks and mosquitoes off of horses is actually through supplementation. You know, the healthier the horse, the less parasites they're going to have. And you can keep them healthy with supplements. And there's some supplements that actually will help keep the flies and mosquitoes off those horses. Garlic's very good. It's an excellent product. It's very safe, to say the least. We use grapeseed. Grapeseed kind of fortifies the skin, strengthens the capillaries. I've had tremendous luck with thiamine. And then another one is diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth actually is fed to the horses, and it actually can help with the larvae in the manure. So there's a lot of ways to control flies in horses, and a lot of ways to control mosquitoes and ticks and so on. And you just have to choose what's best for you, and it might even be a combination of all the above. But whatever you do, try to take care of them as best you can and keep those flies and mosquitoes and ticks off your horse. Thanks. Pleasure, performance, or pasture puppy pet, we all want what's best for our horses. Our mission at the Natural Horse Vet is to provide natural alternatives that work.
Bug check. No more sprays, no more chemicals. Just a small amount each day on the feed will significantly reduce the fly and mosquito population. Plus, it is healthy, not potentially harmful.
It's our goal to provide the most effective natural alternatives for you, your horse, and even your pet. So visit your veterinarian, visit your tack store, or visit us online for our special offers.